We've got some interesting stories this week.
Veterans and baseball is a great combination.
25 natives of 14 different countries become Americans at VA Central Office.
Sandy Garfunkel gets a big pat on the back from Washington's VA Medical Center employees he led for 12 years.
That and more coming right up, so stay put. Hello, I'm Tom Harvey with the Office of Congressional and Legislative Affairs.
And I'm Ada Alvarez. I'm from San Juan and a senior at the University of Puerto Rico, interning this summer in Central Office with the Veterans Health Administration. VA is committed to meeting the special needs of veterans of the war in Iraq. That is the official VA response to a class action lawsuit filed last week in federal court in San Francisco by a coalition of injured OIF and OEF veterans. The lawsuit alleges that outgoing Secretary Nicholson broke the law by denying claimants disability pay and mental health treatment. The suit also accuses VA of allegedly conspiring with the Department of Defense to misclassify PTSD claims as pre-existing personality disorders to avoid paying benefits. Also last week, the President's Commission on Care for Americans Returning Wounded Warriors ended its 3-month investigation of the care of our troops and released its report. Shared by former Senator Bob Dole and former HHS Secretary Donna Shalala, recommendations in the report call for sweeping changes to better serve, support, and simplify the care of injured service members. The Commission made 6 recommendations, including an overhaul of the disability system, a new e-benefits website, and a guarantee of VA care for PTSD for OIF and OEF veterans. Secretary Nicholson praised the work of the Dole-Shalala Commission. The Secretary said the Commission's recommendations will be addressed immediately by the Senior Oversight Committee, co-chaired by VA Deputy Secretary Gordon H. Mansfield and Defense Deputy Secretary Gordon England. The President's Commission puts its report on YouTube to reach the new generation of service members. You can also get more information about the Commission at www.pccww.gov. The full report will be posted there by July 31st.
The second Veterans Appreciation Day at a Washington Nationals game was a very big hit for veterans in the capital area. It was a beautiful Saturday afternoon game with the Colorado Rockies at half price for veterans and service members. The band played. The Army Special Ops Black Daggers jump team got it all started as 6 fell from the sky onto the field at RFK Stadium. Veterans of service from World War II to the present were recognized. The Secretary joined disabled Iraqi war veteran, Army Sergeant Tom Hawthorne, who threw out the ceremonial first pitch. Country singing star and veterans advocate Kenny Thomas sang the national anthem. The Nationals made it all about the veterans, treating them and VA employees to a great afternoon at the ballpark. To honor them for their service, videos about military service were played in the Jumbotron between innings.
VA has the extraordinary honor last week to host a ceremony to swear in 25 new U.S. citizens at Central Office, led by U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Service Director Dr. Emilio Gonzalez. 10 of the new Americans are on active duty in the military.
Also at the naturalization ceremony, 2 previously naturalized citizens who have distinguished themselves were presented the Outstanding American by Choice Award. But first, Gonzalez administered the oath of citizenship to 25 nervous but very proud natives of 14 different nations.
And that I take this obligation freely. Without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion. So help me God. Congratulations, you're the newest citizens of the United States of America.
Dr. Gonzalez and Secretary Nicholson also presented them with certificates of citizenship.
Becoming an American citizen is a dream that people in most countries can only think about. And today you've achieved that. And you've achieved that because of your hard work, because of your perseverance, because of your willingness to play by the rules. And America asks nothing in return except that you defend her Constitution. And the oath of all, even though it could be a bit trite for the members in uniform today, when it says that you're willing to bear arms, many of you already have. But our Constitution asks that you defend a way of thinking, a way of life, that you defend the principles based on individual freedom, on economic liberty, and the rule of law. It doesn't ask you to join a political party. It doesn't ask you to support a particular politician. It doesn't tell you what you need to do from here on out because of a particular religion that you belong to. All it asks is that you defend the same principles which has made this the greatest country in the world for over 230 years.
One American by Choice Award was presented to retired Army Major General Antonio Taguba, born in Manila and naturalized in 1962. The highly decorated Taguba also graduated from several prestigious military schools and obtained 3 master's degrees. Presidential aide Kansha Bullock was the other recipient of the American by Choice Award at the ceremony. Bullock grew up in post-World War II Germany before immigrating as a young adult. She is now a special assistant to President Bush, a position she also held with President Reagan and the first President Bush. Bullock also served as Director of Civilian Personnel in Iraq to help set up the Coalition Provisional Authority.
Here is my plea to you new citizens. Embrace this country wholeheartedly. Assimilate to our customs and morals. Be willing to defend our liberties. Take advantage of all the opportunities this country has to offer. And finally, accept the generosity of the American people open-heartedly and give back to our country that has accepted so many of us so very graciously. And being involved in politics, I do have to ask you all, please go out and register to vote, participate in the process, and then finally exercise your precious right to vote, a right that many Americans have fought and died for, so that we may participate in this 211-year experiment called democracy. Congratulations to all of you. Welcome to America. God bless you all.
Bullock and Taguba are the 18th and 19th recipients of the Americans by Choice Award this year. There were 14 in 2006, the first year the award was given. One of the new Americans is Marine Lance Corporal Sona Babani. She and her family were persecuted for being Christians in their native Iraq, and in 1996 they fled to the United States. After she took the oath of citizenship, Babani led the Pledge of Allegiance.
I'm excited, you know. Been in the Marine Corps. I'll be 2 years in September and not a citizen, so I've always been the alien, and now I can finally say, hey, I'm a citizen of the United States, and I got paper to prove it. I'm very excited. It means a lot.
Sandy Garfunkel is a displaced but still a very devout New Yorker. Over the past 12 years, she is credited with transforming the Washington, D.C. VA Medical Center, both physically and perceptually. Government and VSO leadership inside and outside VA now say it is a flagship VA medical center due to Garfunkel's direction. Patients and staff talk about how their morale and spirit have undergone a sea change during Garfunkel's tenure. Last week, they came out in force, bearing gifts to salute and pay tribute to Garfunkel. One after another spoke of their admiration for his leadership and accomplishments. They were even treated to some memories of what a great team player he has always been. Garfunkel recently took over the reins of Vision 5, the network office that oversees VA medical facilities operations in West Virginia, Maryland, and Washington. New Medical Center Director Fernando Rivera was Master of Ceremonies.
My wife asked me, Stacy said to me, You know, you're going to D.C. and you haven't been nervous. You haven't been upset. Usually when you're getting ready to start a new job, we can't stand you and you're up all night. And I said to her, just candidly and free-flowingly, I'm going to be working for Sandy Garfunkel, and I trust him. And he's going to keep an eye on me. And that's enough. So thank you.
I often think that in some ways I have the easiest job at the medical center because all I have to do is stand up and brag about all of you and the great job that you do. And sometimes I think as I'm getting to my advancing age that that if there's one thing I'm good at, it is bragging about the people who work so hard to make sure that the veterans of this area get the high quality care that they get.
VA and the Department of Health and Human Services sponsored a big Healthier U.S. Veterans Celebration event for the VA New York Harbor healthcare system last week. Secretary Nicholson shared the podium with top VA staff in New York and health chiefs for the city and state.
We can prevent this, and we owe this to our fellow veterans and our fellow citizens to show them the way from going down that path.
Special Forces personnel based at Fort Bragg, North Carolina, demonstrated proper exercise, and the USO troop of Metropolitan New York performed. There were also a number of exhibits and presentations to educate veterans, their families, and others about the health risks of obesity and diabetes.
Did you know that VA service to homeless veterans began in San Diego 20 years ago? Yes, the beginning was the very first VA homeless stand-down put on by some energetic homeless activists who happened to be employees at the San Diego VA Medical Center. Secretary Nicholson, local legislators, and VA staff marked the 20th anniversary in a recent ceremony at the medical center's 20th annual stand-down. VA has expended more than $15 billion in 1987 in providing homeless-specific assistance to more than 400,000 homeless veterans in all 50 states. More than 250,000 veterans and family members have been served at more than 1,700 stand-downs.
My message is for them to not give up. There are a great number of people who care about them, who care for them, who appreciate what they've done for our country and are here to help them help themselves to get their life back, to get their dignity back, their self-esteem back, because we love them. They're fellow countrymen, and they're what President Bush called at Veterans Day in Arlington last year, our finest citizens. Our veterans are our country's finest citizens.
That's all we have this week. Thanks for tuning in. Next week, VA News will come from the Office of Public and Intergovernmental Affairs Annual Training Conference, going on this week in Cleveland. I'm Tom Harvey.
And I'm Ada Alvarez. You can watch VA News on the VA Knowledge Network 5 times a day, every day. And you can see it always on the VA Public Affairs website, and the Pentagon Channel carries on weekends. Have a great day.